Hello and welcome to a new video here on Scotland and bagpipes, everything about Scotland. Today another tutorial how I edit my pictures that I took or that I take in Scotland. Last time we had the curang needle, that was a great tutorial, and today a different picture because last one was taken with my drone and this one with my Sony Alpha 7 III. Again, very important to set up your camera that it takes RAW files. Very important. Also, I think I don't have to mention that again. It's basically nowadays the same. Lightroom Classic, Lightroom and Adobe Photoshop Camera Raw. It's exactly the same setting, so we jump right now into Lightroom, Adobe Lightroom. There is my laptop and I love this picture so much because I took it on Skye again. You see the Old Man of Storr in the back, and then the grass in the foreground and the Highland Cow or the Highland Cow, and even a little loch. A loch is a little lake also in the background. I love it so much, and the exposure is actually very good, slightly dark, but perfect for a raw picture just to edit it. And we're gonna start right now. Last time I showed you the trick that if you just hit here auto on the upper line here, that button, it does that. I'm not happy with that, I never do it, but just a little trick. So back to how it was before. So exposure, I just go slightly to the right, let's say plus 0.37. The next thing, I love to add a lot of contrast just for this picture here, but I just go to the right again, but after I just lifted the shadows a little bit to make the dark spots and dark areas a little bit brighter. Look how beautiful it becomes. I go now more with the contrast and play around. Oh my god, I love it. Look at this. That's just already fantastic. You could almost use it just right away how it looks right now. The next thing, maybe go down with the highlights a little bit. That's the sky on Skye. And you see what happens with raw pictures. Unbelievable, you get even clouds back. So that's why I always recommend setting your camera up to raw, that it only takes raw pictures. Even if you go to the left with the whites here, yeah, even more sky. Love it. I want to add more blacks to this picture here. Yes. I mean, that was the wrong direction. I go to the left to make it slightly darker. And now again I go a little bit up again with the exposure. So, but what happens next? We go down. What I did with the mid-tones here, or the dark spots, I just set one point here and drag it slightly up. That brings the dark spots again a little bit up. Look at that. You can always go down here and look how it looked before. See already what an improvement. The next thing that I would love to add some temperature and go to the right hand side, because the Highland Cow becomes brighter and just more lovely. I'm quite happy with the color here, so I don't touch that tint or tint, I think you call it. Vibrance, I go to the right and see what that does to the picture. And I don't want to go with a saturation because there is a little difference. If you hit it twice with your mouse, it goes back to 0. I love to use vibrance instead of saturation. It just adds more feeling to the picture, as you can see. And not really much now compared to last time when we had a tutorial with the curang needle. Now I want to go for the orange and teal, because here we have the highlights and I go and drag the middle thing of the highlights to the cold tones, to the blue tones. And see the highlights, that's a little bit, it looks like you're right. And I get an orange and teal look, and I go shadows or the dark spots like the Highland Cow again, and drag it in the opposite direction and see what we get here. We come into the grass in a minute, but see how lovely the Highland Cow looks now. It's really great. I just love editing pictures. That's all we do here with the color grading. We leave the middle tones. I go down again, and now one of my favorite things, I always add a little bit of texture and a little bit of clarity and also a little bit of dehaze. In the last tutorial I said that I add a vignette if there is something in the middle, and now that's the case. I didn't add much of a vignette last time, but now look at that and your focus, your eye just goes to the Highland Cow. That's another thing that I really love. You could go mad and crazy, it's just too much, going slightly to the left. Again, we look how it looked before. What a difference already. And going to detail, sharpening, we don't need anything here. But what I want to do is I go up again to the color mixer. That's the one. And now I choose hue. And for the yellow ones, I drag it slightly to the left, that it changes slightly the color of the Highland Cow a little bit. And also orange. And see what's happening when I drag it to the left, the hue becomes red, and if I drag it to the right, it becomes green. So here, not really much, but going just a little bit 1 or 2 minus to get a nice color out of the cow just to the left. If I go to luminance and I wanna go down a little bit with the blue things here, I still can add more sky if you see. Also try the aqua ones. That's lovely. Now one almost last thing, but I want to change also, go back to hue, the green ones, because that's the grass. It's not much greens in the grass anymore, so you can not really see any difference, but I'll show you something in a second. I go to this one here, and that's masking, and this time I choose the linear gradients and I drag it from the bottom up to the nose of the Highland Cow, and then I go just a little bit down with the highlights and just a little bit down with the shadows. See, and the cow comes more into play, and I go to color, and let's see what the tint does here on the bottom. If I go to the right, if I go to the left, that's a little bit more green. I just want to add slightly more green. Going to the left, that's it. You can even change the color here to more green. Look at that, but it's just unrealistic. I go back a little bit to get a little bit green in there. And I love it. The very last thing I do is I go again, hit masking to add another mask. Doesn't open. So I go back to normal settings, that's the thing here, and then I go back to mask. Hopefully it's doing it now. It is doing it now. And what I want to do is I want to add another mask. So the plus here, add, and I want to go for the radial gradient. So that's the one. I drag it just over the Highland Cow. Yeah, that's nice. And then I go up and look at the feather. The feather is 50. I make it up to 66. And where is it? Where's the thing that I'm looking for? Yes, texture and clarity, just a little bit more for the Highland Cow. 1, 2, a little bit of dehaze, plus 6, that's it. And then I go back up and just go a little bit up with the shadows, and look at that. That's a nice Highland Cow. So you could play around here what you prefer. That's the look I'm going for. I love it. As I always say, it's just my style, how I love to edit the pictures. Let's see how it looked before and now. So before and now, I just love it. That's the picture for today, just a Highland Cow on the Isle of Skye. If you like my videos, if you learned something, you can subscribe to the channel or you can leave a comment. Other than that, thanks so much for watching, and I would say see you in the next one. And